Hey guys, so I try to be super careful about not ruffling feathers or giving too many opinions here when it comes to homeschooling or parenting. There's been something on my heart that I've really wanted to share with you guys just because it's a habit that I've noticed that I have picked up over time that has been very detrimental to my experience homeschooling my kids. And so I wanted to just have a heart-to-heart with you guys today. If it's not something that pertains to you, no worries, but maybe it's something that you need to hear or you would appreciate hearing. So if you are interested, stick around. So there was a habit I picked up years ago, and it was really like a defensive habit when it came to homeschooling, and that was just to tell people we're just taking it year by year. And I know that that is a totally real thing for people, but some people are just taking it year by year, and there's a million different reasons why everybody's homeschooling and what their situations are. And maybe, you know, you are just kind of homeschooling this year, your goal is to put them back in school or to put them in school for middle school or whatever. But for me, that was never actually the goal. And I'm only now getting to the place where, one, I can unapologetically and confidently say to strangers and internet people and extended family or whatnot, that yes, I do plan to homeschool all the way through, but also I'm starting to realize the effects that that mindset has had on my experience homeschooling thus far. Now, I don't have many regrets when it comes to homeschooling. I see a million mistakes made, but I wouldn't go back and redo anything because I have learned from all those mistakes, and they've just become beautiful parts of our homeschooling journey. And I think I'm learning more than my kids are learning when it comes to homeschool. It is very revealing, it's refining, and you know better, you do better. You know better, you do better, right? So I don't have a lot of regrets necessarily, but this is something that it was just a bad habit, and I was doing it unnecessarily, and it definitely caused me to lose out a little bit with my oldest daughter. And so I just wanted to share. So like I said, I would say I'm taking it year by year, kind of defensively, but also not just defensively for other people, kind of to protect myself from failure. And just that statement made my plan B, which was to put her in a private school or to put them in public school, whatever, it made it my plan A. Because that fear of what if they have to go to school or what if this doesn't work out after this year became the motivating force behind every curriculum choice we made in those early years, and you know, just where we were at in the school year, whether I would allow myself to relax or not, etc. Because I was constantly living by these rules of a game I wasn't playing. My kids weren't in public school, my kids weren't in private school, so my school year and our curriculum choices and our what we considered to be on grade level really didn't matter. But because I always wanted to have that backup plan ready to go if need be, it actually became the decision maker for me, which made it kind of my boss, and it shouldn't have been. And maybe some of you guys are doing that too, and that's why I wanted to share with you guys today, not to say it's wrong to say that you're taking it year by year, because that's very possible. You could be, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not, there's no reason to make that fear be your leader. And that had just become my leader in homeschool. Like I said, every decision we were making was with the thought in mind of like, if this fails, this will be a seamless, smooth transition. And you know, kind of what I'm realizing now is that if something happened and tomorrow I had to send my kids to school, they would be okay. But I don't need to keep living our homeschool from the perspective and out of the fear of that tomorrow happening. Does that make sense? So it could be a little rambly, but it's me. Hey, I am who I am. I have known so many people who have had to put their kids in school or have chosen to put their kids in school and stopped homeschooling mid-year or stopped at the end of the year and started fresh in a school year, and their kids are fine. There are all sorts of parameters in place for kids who are entering school for the first time mid-year, even growing up, moving from state to state. Like, our educational system in Illinois was much different much different than the educational system here in Florida. And so I was on 3rd grade level in Illinois, and then I moved to Florida and I was on like 6th grade level in Florida, and then I moved back to Illinois and I was behind, and then I moved back here and I was ahead. So it very much varies for everyone, not even just homeschool to public school or homeschool to private school. It wouldn't be a teacher's very first time having to help a child through a transition. So once that has clicked with me that like if something ever happened and my kids had to go to school, they would be okay. It would be a little bumpy, but they would make it. I was so free to just own my homeschool. So having that in the back of my mind really kind of clipped my wings for a while when it came to just like discovering what I wanted or what my daughter wanted or how this whole homeschooling thing was gonna work in those early years, because I was putting boundaries in place that didn't exist. For example, a long time ago, I really decided that like elementary school was just about developing a love of learning, and I wasn't going to start some hardcore things until middle or high school. And yet I wasn't just allowing that freedom in elementary school to discover, because I was trying so hard to keep us on grade level or trying to finish a curriculum by the end of the year, when in reality, I could have rolled that one science curriculum from one year to the next early on, but I didn't, because I wanted to finish it so I had a completed science curriculum in case she was starting a new one the next year in school. And I don't know why I did that to myself, because like I said, it was never our plan, but I always just had the fear of what if that became our plan, and I let that motivate every decision that I made. My husband and I made the decision a while ago that when our kids are in high school, we want them to apprentice with different contractors and different career paths, you know, people that we know well, that we know would allow our kids to have those opportunities. And we wouldn't be able to do that and start working toward that in middle school, late elementary school, if we were so focused on like one year to the next. And so when you don't have that year-to-year mindset, you can start making long-term goals. You can start looking for opportunities. You can start preparing your heart for things that are to come in middle school or high school if you're not so concerned about staying on some kind of standard that isn't necessarily a standard that you're being held to by anyone else. So I just wanted to share, just kind of wanted to let you guys know that it's something that I've really struggled with, and for some reason I just felt like maybe one of you guys would need to hear this as well. I would love for this to open up a kind conversation in the comments below. Like I said, I do know that a lot of people do take it year by year, and again, there are a million reasons why, so seriously, no judgment from me. But if you're not, it might just be something that's tripping you up and holding you back, and you don't even recognize it. I will say, when somebody is starting to homeschool, I know that that's like the very, probably the most common time where people say, we're taking it year by year, we're seeing how this goes. I will give you a little, if I may, give you a little bit of advice that I like to give to people who are starting to homeschool. And that is that first year that you're homeschooling, don't say that it's your testing year, because it's not gonna go well. That first year is all about learning what it's not, and you know, like, losing the mindset of what the school system kind of runs by, because it's not going to go the same in your home. Creating school in your home doesn't always work out like you think it will. So I always say to take the first year, or to at least give it 2 years. And that is so that the first year you can learn what it isn't, and that second year you can start to spread your wings and figure out what it is for your family. So there's that. This is the most opinionated video I have made so far. I know that for a fact, but I hope it has helped somebody. Like I said, let me know in the comments below what you guys think, kindly, or if you've struggled with this at all, or if your kids have gone to school, you know, was the transition as difficult as maybe you thought it might have been? Share your advice. This was just a way to start conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys. Bye. Later. Bye.